And with your discount. Oh wait, no, those are mine. Jesus, I don't want to give me back my potions. Keep forgetting that I'm so used to Fallout 3, where it's the exact opposite. So I'm just like, here, take my potions. Tomes. Tomes, tomes, tomes. The rest of my blood dragon armor. Bunch of runes, bunch of party. This is all part of a DLC called Festive Day, which is basically like Christmas. You give them gifts and whatnot. There's one gift that gives them a lot of friendship and another gift that gives them a lot of negative. And yeah. So, and then like you have the equalizers, like, oh, I don't like you that much, and oh, you know, I was just kidding, da da da. Stuff like that. Lost my flasks, 80. I'm still good. I do want that backpack upgrade. It's expensive though, but should be worth it. Trying to think. Yeah. Wish there was a bigger quick bar, truth be told. Is there a setting for that? Controls, key bindings, audio, video, online. Guess not. Play profile. I believe this is a DLC thing. I'm not gonna get it right away. I'm just gonna talk with all the guys.
Why are we stopping?
We're working together. I think we should talk a moment.
There are darkspawn to be fought. Is this delay needful?
I just need to know if I can trust you at my back.
I am Kunari. I have given my word to aid you. We are not people of idle promises.
Never seen a Cornari before. Tell me about your people.
No.
Wasn't expecting that.
Get used to disappointment. People are not simple. They cannot be summarized for easy reference in the manner of, the elves are a lithe, pointy-eared people who excel at poverty.
Said you were in the army?
I am.
Have you ever fought in the war?
I have always fought in war, human.
What do you mean by that?
My people have been at war since the moment we set foot in the Northern Islands.
So the Kunari don't come from the islands?
We do now.
Where did you come from before?
Somewhere else.
Can you be more specific?
No. I was born in Seheron. Of the land we came from, I know nothing, not even its name. I do not see how this matters. Seheron and Parvolan are distant. Ferelden and the Darkspawn are immediate.
Are you alright? You were in the cage for weeks.
You are concerned. No need. I am fit enough to fight.
You should get moving.
As you wish.
Sten is the one character who just... You can't ask... I mean, you can ask questions, but he's like...
As you wish.
He will always dodge questions until he feels like talking, basically.
What do you need?
You want to talk about Duncan?
You don't have to do that. I know you didn't know him as long as I did.
Doesn't mean I don't mourn his loss. He was a father to you, I understand. He was like a father to you, I understand.
I should have handled it better. Duncan warned me right from the beginning that this could happen. Any of us could die in battle. I shouldn't have lost it, not when so much is riding on us, not with the blight and everything. I'm sorry.
There's no need to apologize.
I'd like to have a proper funeral for him. Maybe once this is all done, if we're still alive. I don't think he had any family to speak of.
Yeah, I do.
I suppose he did. It probably sounds stupid, but part of me wishes I
Seems
was
very
with
low.
him in the battle. I feel like I abandoned him.
Saved your life by setting the tower. No, I understand completely.
Of course, I'd be dead then, wouldn't I? It's not like that would make him happier. I think he came from High Ever, or so he said. Maybe I'll go up there sometime. See about putting up something in his honor. I don't know. Have you had someone close to you die? Not that I mean to pry, I'm just...
My entire family was murdered just recently.
Oh, of course. How stupid of me to forget. Here I am going on and on about Duncan, and you... I am so sorry. Thank you. Really, I mean it. It was good to talk about it, at least a little.
Maybe I'll go to High Ever with you when you go.
I'd like that. So would he.
Even though I'm pretty sure that's my ancestral home, right? Yeah, so, I mean, how about you come to my house? Kind of thing. I'm gonna raise volume. Just a smidge. I'll bring these to 70. Or maybe I'll bring sound effects. Music to 710, and then this. Seems like it's very low. Leliana.
Yes?
I like to talk.
Well, here I am.
This vision of yours.
I knew this would come up sooner or later. I don't know how to explain, but I had a dream. In it, there was an impenetrable darkness. It was so dense, so real. And there was a noise, a terrible, ungodly noise. I stood on a peak and watched as the darkness consumed everything. And when the storm swallowed the last of the sun's light, I fell, and the darkness drew me in.
You dreamed of the blight.
I suppose I did. That was what the darkness was, no? When I woke, I went to the Chantry's gardens, as I always do. But that day, the rose bush in the corner had flowered. Everyone knew that bush was dead. It was grey and twisted and gnarled, the ugliest thing you ever saw. But there it was, a single beautiful rose. It was as though the Maker stretched out his hand to say, even in the midst of this darkness, there is hope and beauty. Have faith.
And this made you want to help me?
In my dream, I fell, or maybe I jumped. I'd do anything to stop the blight. I know that we can do it. There are so many good things in the Maker's world. How can I sit by while the blight devours everything?
I suppose I couldn't sit by either.
That is why you're a Grey Warden. Come, there's a blight to stop.
I mean,
Yes?
is there more?
Well, here I am.
What was life like in the Chantry
Quiet.
cloister?
It was a life suited for contemplation. In the cloister, away from the fuss and the flurry of the cities, I found peace. And in that stillness, I could hear the Maker. But it was not perfect. Some of my Chantry fellows were condescending. That is the nature of religious folk, I suppose.
Condescending, how so?
When I talked about my beliefs, that the Maker reveals himself in the beauty of his world, they treated me with disdain. They want to believe that he's gone, so that when he turns his gaze on them, it means they are special, chosen. He cannot possibly have love for all, the sick and the weary, the beggars and the fools.
I prefer your ideas to the ideas of the Chantry.
Thank you. Maybe I am wrong. But it is the Maker's place to decide if I am worthy, not men, not the Chantry. But there is work to be done, and I have talked enough for now.
Yours is the most short and concise of the chats. Sten's is like a little rigmarole, and hers is just like, this is what I believe. This is what I'm saying.
Yes, Well, here I am.
What would someone like you be doing in Lord of the Rings Chantry?
What is meant by someone like me?
You know, a beautiful, charming woman like yourself.
And there were no beautiful, charming women in the cloisters, you think? You would be wrong. There were many lovely young initiates in the Lothering cloister, all of them chaste and virtuous. It added to their mystique, because then they were forbidden, and forbidden fruit is the sweeter, no?
I have to do it. So what about your fruit? Is it forbidden?
My fruit? I can't believe I'm having this conversation. But no, I did not take vows. The Chantry provides succor and
So
safe
stupid.
harbor to all who seek it. I chose to stay and become affirmed.
And why were you seeking safe harbor?
The Chantry does not pride, and you should. I desired time apart from the world. I was a traveling minstrel in Orlais. Tales and songs were my life. I performed, and they rewarded me with applause and coin. And my skill in battle? Well, you pick up different skills when you travel, yes? Yes, of course. Let's move on.
It's so stupid. Is your fruit forbidden?
What do you wish of me?
I'd like to ask you something.
If you must.
How do you become a shape changer?
I was not born such. 'Tis a skill of Flemeth's, taught over many years in the wilds. The chastened have tales of we witches, saying that we assume the forms of creatures to watch them from hiding. When a child is alone and separate from his tribe, that is when we strike, dragging the young boy kicking and screaming to our lair to be devoured. A most amusing legend.
Your mother has been doing this for a long time then.
Changing her form, certainly. Devouring lost children, I cannot say. She has not done it in my experience, though in truth my lifespan is but a fraction of her own. Why do you ask? Is there something specific you wish to know?
Can you change to into other human forms as well?
The form of an animal is different from my own. One may study the creature, learn to move as it does, think as it does. In time, this allows one to become as it is. I gain nothing by studying another human. I already am the same as they are. I learn nothing. So the answer is no, my human form is the only one I possess.
Can anyone become a shape changer?
Anyone with sufficient will, but the act of transformation is a magical one. 'Tis a spell and thus requires a mage's talents. If you had a notion to learn such a skill for yourself, sadly, you must remain disappointed.
Do you spend a lot of time as an animal?
There were nights when the wilds called to me, 'tis true. You look upon the world around you and you think you know it well. I have smelled it as a wolf, listened as a cat, prowled shadows that you never dreamed existed. But my life is as a human. I am under no illusions to the contrary.
What do other animals think of you when you changed?
They do not shy away from me. To their senses, I believe I seem like any other of their species. As to what they think, I truly cannot say. Just as I am still human, no matter my form, they are still animals. Thus they cannot speak, even were I to ask.
Never had heard of magic like that before.
No, 'tis not unheard of in the remote corners of the world. There are traditions of magic outside of the circle of magi, despite what those mages would have you believe. Some of these traditions are old, indeed, passed down as carefully guarded lore from one generation to the next. The zealots of the Chantry would uproot all such practitioners if they could, but as luck have it, some still exist. My mother is such a one.
By practitioners, you mean apostates, don't you?
Not all apostates use the forbidden blood arts. Maleficarum do, but to condemn all who do not fall under the Circle's thrall for the sake of what might be is a dangerous path to walk. There are those who look on the word apostate as meaning freedom.
That's all I wanted to ask.
Indeed. Have you an opinion on my abilities, then? Am I an unnatural abomination to be put to the torch?
I think your abilities are sound quite useful.
A most practical opinion. Far more so than any man I have spoken to. But enough of such talk. Let us proceed, lest the dust gather on us.
Man.
What do you wish of me?
I'd like to ask you something.
If you must.
Oh wow, there's more. Can you teach others to become shapeshifter? Did you grow up in the Krokari wilds?
Why do you ask me such questions? I do not probe you for pointless information, do I?
Good if you wanted to.
Oh, what luck. What is it you asked? If I grew up in the wilds? A curious question. Where else would you picture me? For many years it was simply Flemeth and I. The wilds and its creatures were more real to me than Flemeth's tales of the world of man. In time, I grew curious. I left the wilds to explore what lay beyond, never for long. Brief forays into a civilized wilderness.
But you kept going back to the wilds?
Would you not do the same? Your world is an unforgiving and cold place. The wilds I hail from is home to me, and I a natural denizen. For all that I had been taught, however, the truth of the civilized lands proved to be overwhelming. I was unfamiliar with so much. So confident and bold was I, yet there was much that Flemeth could never have prepared me for.
Very daring. That sounds like you.
Equal parts daring and foolhardy, perhaps. Only once was I accused of being a witch of the wilds, and that by a chastened who happened to be traveling with a merchant caravan. He pointed and gasped and began shouting in his strange language, and most assumed he was casting some curse upon me. I acted the terrified girl, and naturally, he was arrested.
It's quick thinking.
Men are always willing to believe two things about a woman. One, that she is weak, and two, that she finds him attractive. I played the weakling and battered my eyelashes at the captain of the guard. Child's play. The point being that I was able to move through human lands fairly easily. Whatever humans think a witch of the wild looks like, 'tis not I. Not that I did not have trouble. There are things about human society which have always puzzled me, such as the touching. Why all the touching for a simple greeting?
Touching? Like a handshake?
To begin with, yes. What is the point of touching my hand? I find it an offensive intrusion. There were many nuances that Flemeth could never tell me of. When to look into another's eyes. How to eat at a table. How to bargain without offending. None of these things I knew. I still do not understand it all, truth be told.
It's a lot of
but
things to
then
learn.
I gave up long ago any hope of doing so. When I returned to the wilds last, I swore to Flemeth that I had no intention of leaving again.
Go back if you like.
I have no qualm with the mission I have been set to. Flemeth was correct, like it or not. The Darkspawn are an enemy of all. Well, let's get on with it before the ground opens up and swallows us, yes?
Yeah. I might download a mod that removes helmets. There's one on the Nexus. I was considering downloading it because I don't like the dumbass helmets that you know, they're stupid. But anyways, I'm gonna end the episode right here. So I'd like to thank you all for watching. Episode of our next episode recording session thingy, and by then I will make my decision whether or not I'll continue on nightmare difficulty or hard difficulty. So if the difficulty changes, I'll explain it in the next episode. Anyways, bye bye.